This is the road to Los Santos de la HUMOSA and San Pedro's Church, which is one of my favorite destinations. However, I've been at this rest spot for a few minutes, and cars have been behaving particularly foolishly. I mean, there's just no great big hurry, and there's no way these people are going 50 kilometers an hour. But it's really beautiful. It's a little hazy in the Henares Valley, also known as the Madrid Corridor. Well, I think it's time to start heading down. I brought extra clothes and such, a jacket, because I was figuring on being out. Behind San Pedro's is a road that takes out to a farm field, which goes all the way to Guadalajara, and from there I can drop into Guadalajara and then circle around through Meco and back, which is a favorite route. But I think I'll reserve that for another day. Perhaps you can see in the center of the frame, in the distance on the horizon, the 4 towers in Madrid's business district. This is just some absolutely beautiful terrain, and straight ahead, those hills on the opposite side are the tail end of Parques de los Cerros, which is a wonderful destination and definitely on the list of places to go from time to time. I used to really like going to Parques de los Cerros because it was always challenging. There's some really steep little hills and excellent single track and double track, and it's always great. But since I bought the Cannondale, it's sort of gotten small. Now, if I was a better rider, and what I mean by better is more gutsy, and I don't know, perhaps 30 years younger, there are some single track trails that are really challenging, and I don't think they could possibly get old. However, I have no desire to put myself in particularly challenging situations where I can crash. If you watch YouTube videos of let's say Burn Peak, for example, which is a great channel, and Steph is a wonderful host, there's crashing involved. If you watch Pink Bike or practically any YouTube channel, even the Sam Pilgrim channel, there's some crashing involved. Well, I want to avoid that. Call it a grandpa thing. Not only that, but a ride like this right here is beautiful, it's enjoyable, and there's frankly no hurry. Now I have zipped down this hill very quickly, and yes, it's possible, and I've done it, but for the same, in the same token, there's really no reason to show off. Other reason is I'm still recovering from that silly Billy retinal eye surgery, and my vision on my left eye is a little haywire, so my depth of field is out of whack. I do fine on flat surfaces and gravel roads, but when it comes to hills and such where there's trenches and crevices and ruts to fall into, I prefer to just take it easy. This is very soft stuff. It's hard to see, because gravel looks like gravel, and it's determining if it's soft or hard by looking at it in a video, or even its steepness is difficult to ascertain. But just take my word for it. Not to mention, look at these guys. They're just happy campers. To the right over here are some olive trees. They're all over the place. I'll be taking a ride into Casa de Campo probably next week or the week after. And that is, well, I would say maybe the olive capital of the region. We just drove through there on the way to Valencia, and it was wonderful. What I'm looking for are farm roads, dirt roads like this, where I can navigate around and get off the highway. There's only a couple highways that go to the town of Casa de Campo, and neither of them have very good shoulders. But I'm really positive there are alternatives. The one thing I took off this bike was the Shimano Ice Tech brake rotor, which I really liked. It didn't fade, and it dissipated the heat from the braking much better than these SRAM centerline. However, the SRAM centerlines are very good, and I have a lot of confidence in them. This bike came originally with 160 millimeter rotors, and I cooked them. So that's when I upgraded to 180. When you start seeing blue discoloration, that's not a good thing. I don't know that it's a big deal to get a little blue discoloration, but that means you're retempering the steel and it could become brittle. Particularly beautiful here. Almost seems a ways to go too fast. The next time I come up this way, I will go into the village, go up to San Pedro's, and then into the farm country, which will drop me. Oh, it's a long ride actually, but it will take me to a highway which I can use to drop into Guadalajara City, which is in the state of Castilla-La Mancha, one of my very favorite places. Don't ask me why I like Castilla-La Mancha, but there's something romantic about it. It's also an enormous area. I mean, it's blinking enormous. Madrid, on the other hand, is another state, province, and city, all with the same happy name. But it's relatively tiny. Hola. In the middle of that batch of trees is the river, and what you can't see, well, at least not very, is in the second tree line is a nature reserve. People used to be able to get into it, but I guess they reinforced blocking it off from normal folks, which kind of makes sense because the idea of a nature reserve is to keep it natural, and noisy people are a problem. Oh my goodness, a bunch of smoke over there. Directly ahead. No idea. We'll pick this up in a few minutes. I'm going to go cross the river. Or not the river, but below here there's a creek and some muddy terrain that is just a pain in the butt. So I want to pause the video for a few minutes. Well, I'm past the worst of it. I don't know what's going on here. There's obviously an aquifer, and this aquifer is feeding a little tiny creek, which is now overspilling onto this roadway. To the right here, this is all kind of a marshland. And when it's really warm, this zone right here, just as you drive around, just feels degrees cooler. It feels, it feels nice on a hot day. Today's 30, which is rather remarkable, to be honest. It was only about 25 the other day at its very highest temperature. So it's kind of acting like fall. And here's the river. This is an awesome river with an ancient history. The Romans used the water from it and the clay from the cliff faces in Alcalá de Henares, which at the time was called Complutum. That was around the 1st century BC, when they were still burning Christians and such. Well, before they were burning Christians. They were burning Christians later. Right, in fact, on Main Street, or what's also called Calle Mayor in downtown, or the old town of Alcalá de Henares, where the cathedral currently is. I've done a few little stories on the history of that place. And I believe it was Emperor Augustus that started to allow Christianity. Ooh, doggy dogs. Hola, buenas.
Hola.
Wow, what a lovely place. I think that's going to do it for tonight. Gotta go.